What you're seeing there is a mixed bag for retail earnings reports. The hot ones, Lowe's and TJX, both delivering upside surprises. The home improvement chain and discount retailer, respectively, surging on quarterly results. But Target shares coming under pressure despite a big beat. The retailer bracing for meteoric online sales growth to normalize. Nobody likes to hear those words. Karen, Trader's Choice, which of these three names do you want to talk about today? I leave it to you.
Well, Annie, I'm long all three of them. To me, let's talk about Lowe's, because I thought that was sort of interesting. Lowe's, I think, had the benefit of being down substantially yesterday on the heels of Home Depot, and they came out with numbers that were better than expected. They had a lot of good things going for it. Their expenses were good. They gave some guidance on their longer-term EBIT that the street really liked. They seem to have a lot of momentum, and there was a concern that Home Depot had better contractor revenue, supplying builders, and Lowe's has shown that they're making good headway there. So there's a lot that's going right at Lowe's. The valuation's a little rich, but I wouldn't sell it here. So that one was sort of interesting to me. The one thing also that was interesting to me was many times they talked about appliances and how they got strength there and how they're also being more efficient in delivering appliances, but that didn't seem to matter for Whirlpool, which I like, which I think is just trading at what I call peak washing machine, because it doesn't matter how cheap it is, it doesn't really seem to get to new highs. So that was the most interesting to me was Lowe's.
Okay, so the home improvement, the contractor trade was big for both Home Depot and Lowe's, this idea that they're getting more of the professionals in there for that one. But Karen, would you mind if I just asked you quickly about Target? Everybody's been focused on the e-commerce numbers. Did you find them disappointing? I'm also putting it in context because it was down 3% today in regular trading after going up 80% over the course of the past 12 months. One of those real pandemic winners in terms of shopping trends. Is Target still one of those stocks that you like to own?
Yes, Target is a big position for me, but we talk a lot about going into earnings. The expectations were very high, and they met those expectations, maybe even exceeded those expectations. But after a run, like you said, it's just not enough, and that's okay. I'm not going to sell my Target into earnings because I think maybe the street will be somewhat disappointed and sell it off. Then I got to figure out when am I going to get back in. I got to try to do that at a good price, and I have to make up enough gap to have paid the taxes on realized gains. I'm nowhere near that good. That's three decisions you have to make, two decisions. You have to get out, you have to get back in at the right time. I can hardly make one good decision, so making two is nearly impossible. If you step back and look at Target and look at the transformation of their business, the revenue is great, they got expenses under control. I'm happy to own it. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive for what it is. It was cheaper. That's the only thing that, is weighing on it.
What'd you think, Guy? I mean, out of those three today, did anyone resonate with you, strike that tuning fork?
So I'm going to go off the board in a second, but I want to say Karen makes great decisions all the time. The decision to have that leopard couch or the zebra couch with that wall behind you is brilliant. I mean, I'm not an interior designer, but I would have done the exact same thing.
It does look pretty good.
Number one. Number two, I think Lowe's, to Karen's point, was a beneficiary of selling off in such a meaningful way on the back of Home Depot. People just got themselves off sides. I actually would be inclined to be taking profits here in Lowe's. And if you're looking for a retailer, Dollar Gen into earnings next week, to me, sets up really well. I do think you're going to start to see analysts raise numbers. That's the one I would go off the board for 500, please, Domchu.
I mean, Dollar Tree, you've got Best Buy, a lot of those earnings reports coming out next week as well.